Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, on the show this evening is the one and only GB, the Queen of Rangers Radio, Linda, and the legend, and the king, the bridge man. Evening, boys and girls.
Evening, Ox. I'm glad you mentioned Dundas name right after that Queen bit.
And you think Portmouth is back? You'll kill me when he finds me.
Definitely.
Dear. How you doing, mate?
Good. Enjoyed the wee break, Ox, and feeling refreshed and optimistic, and glad to be on with such experience tonight.
Oh, such experience. Oh, you're usually on with the Waynes. That's right, innit? I forgot about that. Now you're on with the big Waynes.
It ate up the game tonight.
I hope she's sorted her mute out. Evening, Linda. She'll find the button. Evening, Bridge. How we doing, the king?
Good evening, Oxford. Can I just say a big good evening to yourself and, of course, the techie teams in the background, and Gaz and Linda, of course, they're going to help me out and carry me through. And can I just say to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world, it's been a long time since we've been here. That's what it feels anyway. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Evening, Bridge. How are you?
I'm wonderful, pal. Great to be back.
Aye, is everything all right in the Bridge world?
Yes, Mrs. a lot better than she was, yeah.
Good. I'm pleased for that.
Hopefully keeps getting better, you know.
I'm pleased for that woman. She's got a lot to put up with. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. GB, international break, mate. It's, I know we touched on it briefly last night. It ain't great, is it? You know, you're just desperate to see the Rangers, aren't you?
Oh, it has been a drag, and by the way, this is no be any blue tinted glasses on, but I feel that most of the international games that were on, they were all dire. I thought they were poor. I mean, I've not seen one yet that kind of I was like, oh, I'm sad that I missed it. You know what I mean? It seems to be the level as well. I know it's all friendlies and stuff like that, but you'd think, like I says, they would put on maybe some glamour games and stuff like that. But I'm just, like I says, I'm glad to see the Rangers come back this weekend because I don't know about you, Ox, but very eager to get this next part of the league campaign kicked off again.
Aye, I'm looking forward to it. A bit of nerves, and I think that's good. But I'm looking forward to it. Evening, Linda.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I hope you're all keeping well, and I'm eventually able to speak to you tonight. We're just
going to the tune now, Linda. Get yourself on mute.
Is that the show finished? Good evening. It's nice to be back on Rangers Radio. I hope you're all well.
And what have you been up to?
Well, not a lot. A wee bit like what GB was saying. I watched a wee bit of international football, but I've got to say to you, Ox, it's so nice to have Rangers back.
Oh, I don't think there's, forget as GB said, take the blue tinted glasses on. I don't think there's a supporter in the world. They get international football if it's competitive, but 2 rounds of friendlies for the majority of teams, I just don't get it, Linda. I really don't. This time of the season, injuries, and they talk about too much football and people travelling all over the world. It just doesn't make sense.
No, you're right, Ox. You can see why they obviously they would have had the playoff matches there for the Euros, but just have them and nothing else. We're obviously not the only ones that's maybe picked up a couple of injuries. Some of the bigger, in the bigger leagues as well. So, yeah, I don't know where it's right in the middle of a schedule and at the most important time in the schedule as well, isn't it?
Mental. I don't know. Another business, GB, just putting a business hat on would let it happen.
No. And again, especially as Linda touches on there with the Premier League and stuff like that, you want all the best players on show. You don't want any injuries, and especially as well for the tournament in the summer. I mean, why would you risk any players this close to the tournament for the summer? You want all the best players turning up so that, like it says, all these sponsors get to showcase all these top players. You mean? And again, you just risk for a silly friendly. You just risk, like it says, losing a guy maybe for 6 months. I
know. Anyway, we digress. Bridgeman, you'll be glad that the real football's coming back on Saturday, yeah?
Desperately, absolutely. I'm so happy, no real. It just seemed to, the days just dragged. And then when there was some football news on, it was mostly about the talent and Franny people, and seriously, well, we know how they are anyways. It's nothing to talk about other than stupid stories, rumours, everything.
Well, I'm good at rumours if you want some of them.
No, I don't want any.
Linda's in a funeral.
Oh, please.
Oh, no.
Wait, GB, Linda, Bridge can come in as well. Congratulations to the ladies, We said it last night and we'll say it again, loud and proud.
That's it, Ox. And again, it's a part of the club that's grown year after year. And again, you see down south and they're in that Champions League, it's another kind of money maker, Ox. So, as long as the team keeps progressing, a trophy's a trophy. And hopefully the ladies can push on now. We're getting that bit of momentum winning that trophy, and hopefully can push on, try and conquer the league, and hopefully, we maybe see a couple of trebles for the club this season.
Why not, Linda?
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. And it was a good game, and give Thistle a lot of credit. They made a match of it, particularly in the first half, Ox. But
answer me this question, Linda. Answer me this question. Why were Partick Thistle not playing in yellow and black or yellow and red? Why were they playing with that strip on?
I don't know, Ox.
Anyway, that's just I thought, who's that? Yeah. When I turned it on, yeah,
it was a bit strange, wasn't it? It's their traditional strip, and no need for that. But
no clash, is that? There was no clash.
No, there was no clash. No, it was a good game, and the Rangers women eventually, the quality just kind of stood out for them, and I think there was some terrific goals, and good on the women's team. And they've lost a wee bit of their lead, obviously, in the league. I think they were maybe 6 points ahead in the league, Ox, and they hit a wee bit of a ropey patch there. But hopefully that'll get them back on the track, on track. And as GB said, there's no harm in dreaming that they can go on and pick up the other 2 trophies.
Why not? Yes, congratulations to the ladies, Bridget.
Absolutely. You can't say anything wrong about them. I think they've done the business. I can only say well done. You know how I feel about it. I'm not the greatest supporter of ladies football, but I take my hat off to them. Seriously, wonderful stuff. Great result. Great result for them.
Yeah.
And for Rangers, Messi. And for Rangers.
Aye. Listen, I think in the players' injuries, there's a lot of rumour, speculation about players being foot. People are posting things. I think on Instagram, GB, they nailed something up and it disappeared, intimated he could be back. A lot of speculation. Then we get Ridvan getting a knock, and we'll get I think tomorrow when we have the press conference, we'll get information where we are. So let's fingers crossed, GB and then Linda, that it's positive news.
Yeah, no, and I think a manager does go into these press conferences usually pretty positive anyway, no matter what the situation is. But you can't see the posts coming for certain players, and plus as well maybe some of the stuff on young Ridvan as well, saying that he was like it wasn't as bad as first thought and stuff. So I'm expecting a couple of players back, Ox. I'm hoping that, like say, we're hearing more about Sterling and stuff like that when we get back tomorrow, and hopefully, like I says, with Danilo, maybe he's jumped the gun a wee bit, but like I says, if he's even going to be available at some point this season, then it's another helping hand, isn't it?
I don't mention Sterling. Southside will be on Linda. I don't know if she's heard the show last night. It was some great debate.
We better not mention him, but no, with Red Fan, it was a blow, wasn't it? Because we're thinking, oh, here we go. I mean, what did he play? 25 minutes, and then, you know, hopefully it was more precautionary to get him off Ox, but 7 to 10 days they're saying. But as you say, it's all rumours, and another one that's maybe is Sima, and I think that's a real positive if we could get Sima back. But the manager won't put any pressure on any of these players, and he's not very keen in throwing them right back in, isn't he, not Ox? He usually likes to build up their minutes, but just having some more bodies in that forward part of the pitch would be a real bonus for us.
Yes, talking about forward there is Big Desser's got a goal, and then I don't know if you've seen his miss. Did you see his miss?
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh. No dear, he's scored some magnificent goals for us, and smart goals, clever goals, and you think, but apart from away at Dundee, I don't mind him scoring any other one-on-one bridge.
Yeah, excuse me, it was mentioned a couple of times when he's running through one-on-one. He seems very, very weak, and most of the time, sometimes he manages to do it, but most of the time he never finishes. He's never able to finish on the one-on-one. So it's obviously a weakness in his game there, and I don't know why.
If Big Phil's listening, I'll get myself up to Hockey now and get him coach bridge. Yeah, I'll get the boots on. No difficult, is it? Put them on the back of the net.
I don't know if I could bend there, put boots on there.
Get these Skechers ones, Bridge. You get these Skechers ones with your feet slide right into them.
Well, you know, and I think everybody knows that watches football, when they see someone like Dessers playing quite well, scoring some good goals for us, and getting the odd wee mistake here and there, my goodness gracious, what we saw on his international stuff was absolutely horrendous. And it just, he's playing at the top level of football at international, and he can't score a goal like that.
Oh, he scored in one game and missed that chance coming on as sub in another. He's an
and by the way, I must say, in all probability, they've only picked the worst one, the worst chance out. They're saying there was others he missed, you know.
He's an enigma, GB. He does some wonderful things, and if you think of the pass to McCausland against Kilmarnock, you know, and he's done some great things. And then there's other times you just thought, oh no, but I'll tell you what he is, whether you like it or no, he just keeps coming back for more. Bizarre.
I mean, I suppose you can't question his attitude and his application, Ox. It's just like you say, it's the finishing. See if that boy could finish and to be honest, see if he could finish, he probably wouldn't be at Rangers. I think Ox in the long term, if we can't get Dessers out in the summer, then he's a perfect third choice striker, isn't he? I mean, you think about it, he'd be a guy.
Expensive third choice striker, mate.
I know, I get it, mate. But you know, you mentioned it last night. It's hard to move these guys on, and when you've got the likes, say maybe Danilo come back, and then possibly another wanting in the door in the summer, then like I says, he is going to be doing the pecking order. But I've got no qualms of him maybe coming on for a 25-minute spell, because like you says, he's that erratic that we might get that goal that's needed at that time. But on forward, we need him to turn up for these 6 games, Ox, and he just needs to be clinical for us. I think this weekend
11 games, mate. 11.
What to the split.
4 games, mate. What school did you go to? St. what?
I'll say it now, St. Peter's.
Listen, thanks for the call. It's been nice knowing you. We'll keep doing all right. This boy can't count.
Oh, don't worry, GB, it'll come back to you.
That's because of this 2-week break that we've had. Usually we're kept up to date with all this stuff.
Exactly. He can count. He's up busy counting his money, Linda.
Oh, right.
What Easter egg do you go for this year, Linda?
A Hotel Chocolat, nonetheless.
Hotel Chocolat. All right, okay.
No, I'm only kidding. It was my brother got me a Maltesers.
Very popular, the old Maltesers.
Can he beat
What
it? Can he beat
What
it?
did you go for, GB?
A wee Cadbury's cream egg.
Just a wee one.
Just a wee one, aye. But you get
Well.
you get 2 extra eggs in it.
I know in your life size doesn't matter, mate. Bridgeman, what was your favourite? What did you go for?
Missed that last bit there. I heard you saying something over. What was that? Dream over?
What did you go for, your Easter egg?
Easter eggs, aye. Oh, no. I'm looking forward to that. I don't think I'm allowed to eat that anymore. But I'm sure she'll bring one in and say, don't you touch that.
You can look at it, Bridge.
Exactly. Touch that bit of paper, you're deed. You know, something like that.
Yeah, you
Which
can
you
look
have
at
been
it.
before, I must admit.
You can look at it, but you can't touch. Sounds familiar.
Sit, you know.
Anyway, Galaxy for me, Linda. Galaxy.
Oh, Galaxy, I quite like Galaxy too.
Hotel Chocolat.
No, I was only kidding. It was Maltesers.
Oh, Davey's just had a fit. He's Googled it. See the price. Oh dear. Brilliant. Right, okay. Big game coming up on Saturday, GB. Listen, just the next 2 games, you just want to turn these teams over. But the Ibrox, we won the games. We're in the right good position, yeah?
Aye, Ox. It's Burnley's always one of the funny teams for me. You're always nervous with them, but like every season so far, we've actually been all right with them. I mean, we've had 4-0, 3-0, and 2-0, so that would tell you that we can handle them. But I don't know. Like, it's always that way that they seem to again raise their game against us. And that last game there again, it was a bit of a sticky game, but again we go through it. But like you say, Ox, you just want to get these 1-0s, Bridgemans all the way. You would take them all day long.
Aye, obviously I hope it's no 1-0 London, but if you said to me that by a week on Sunday at tea time we won the 2 games 1-0, I would snap your hand off. Yeah, but I'm hoping we're a bit more comprehensive, particularly on Saturday.
Yeah, Ox, I think it just makes us feel a bit better, doesn't it? We don't want to be, it be 0-0 going into the last 15 minutes of the game, or if we're holding on for a 1-0, the nerves kick in. But you're right, the next, as you say, 11 games, we just have to win them if we can, I know we don't need to win all of them, but it would be good if we could. And it's just a matter now of ticking the games off. You want really good performances, because normally that means that you will score maybe a few goals, but just at this business end of the season, as we like to call it, Ox, it really all is about just getting the victories.
Aye. I think there's a big week coming up. That'll set the momentum, hopefully, Bridgeman. And it's all about victories. It's all about Bridgemans, potentially.
Yeah, we're in territory where we're going to be repeating ourselves virtually every week, and it's all going to be similar, providing providing we can go forward on Saturday and do the business at Ibrox. I'm really looking forward to that, the trouncing that mob. But everybody's just waiting to hate Rangers to bits and things like that, and the least wee thing we get, and there's a dispute about it, because they'll make disputes, as we know. So watch out for all that.
Yes,
just want Rangers to win the game.
We can see right through them, Bridge.
Absolutely.
Your Peter Grants, your Chris Suttons, your John Hartson, your Tom McManus. Shall I go on, Linda? Throw in any names you want, yeah?
I think that's enough.
Can I ask a question on that?
We can see right
people
through
you
them.
mentioned, do they actually think that people listen to them and think they're telling the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're they're not playing to, they're not playing to our crowd anyway. We can see right through them. We laugh. Right, we better get these phone lines open, GB, yeah?
Aye, Ox, let's get them all in. Let's get the points made about the weekend, and good to hear the callers again.
Starting to build up to the weekend, aye. And your thoughts of where we are and where we're going, because what was it Fergie called it? Squeaky bum time, Linda.
Oh, it definitely is, Ox. It's there's going to be a bit of nerves. We know that, and it's exciting though, isn't it? Because for the first time in a couple of seasons, we're right in it here. You know, we've got a really good chance, and you don't want to, count your chickens. But this is a really great opportunity for us, and it's great to be in this position.
Yeah. Just quickly before we go open the phone lines, did you see it coming when Clement came in? I know Big South Side said, if we are going to run a forum, we can be back in this title race. I don't think, and myself included, I don't think I seen it coming.
No, I didn't, Ox. Absolutely not.
No. I thought the damage was terminal, but there you go, GB, yeah?
Aye, Ox, I thought at the time that we'd signed a bunch of duds, and like I says, that there's jury still out in some of them, but again, a lot of them have stepped up to the mark, and like I says, they've got us right back in a title race. For me, like I says, I've been trying to keep myself calm with it, because we are in the driving seat, Ox. For me, it's in my mind, as long as we win every game, we can afford to draw the both All Firm games, and we still win the title. I mean, that's how good the position we're in. So, like I says, ideally you want to win the All Firms, I know, but like I says, the way we're sitting now, as long as we win every game, and like I says, if worst case scenario we draw 2 All Firms, we still champions at the end of it.
Aye, but I would like to win this next one, mate, to put the pressure on them and to give us a cushion, and because we're at home, yeah. And also, I'll be honest with you, for my nerves.
Agreed.
Right, we better get these phone lines open. Come on, join us. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, come and join us. Give your thoughts. Give your thoughts and what you're hoping for, what your expectations is. Yeah. I think every Rangers supporter's expectation is now there's 2 trophies to be won. Let's go and win them, Linda.
Yeah, definitely, Ox. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Having that expectation. As I said earlier, it's a great position to be in. We've not really been in this position for a couple of seasons in terms of the league. I know we had the Europa League run there was good, but it was just a wee bit of a bridge too far, if you pardon the pun, for us. And I think it was a wee bit of a relief that we actually maybe went out of that, Ox, if that makes sense, in terms of Benfica. And we can just fully focus on the domestic trophies, because realistically that was we've got a better chance of actually winning those 2 trophies that are up for grabs. It would have been lovely to go on in the Europa League, but certainly for me, I'm okay with how we did in Europe, but full focus now on trying to get over the line here.
Aye, it's still, we know that tie could have went anyway. That was a bizarre game in some respects, and we lost a bizarre goal, and we didn't play. I think we can play a lot better than that, which is a great place to be, GB. But, however, there was disappointment, but realism as well, and we focus on the main prize, and it's the league title, GB.
Ox, I agree. I think, like Linda says, it's not a bad thing that we kind of went out, because I think it would have been a bridge too far this season trying to do all competitions, Ox. I think the league's that tight. We can't afford to slip up. We've got to be, like I says, fully focused on it now. And I just think if we were still there and we're, like I says, having to travel and stuff like that, I think it would just have been an extra burden. So I think in a way we'll look back at the end of the season and see it as a kind of a thankful thing that we went out at that stage, and it probably gave us a chance to get some players back as well.
I don't know, mate. I get the quarterfinals, but the way Europe is now, mate, you know, and it doesn't happen every year. If we'd have got there, I think we'd have. Yeah, I get your realism. I think you could be right, but I still think everybody would have been jumping and with joy if we'd have still sitting in the quarterfinals and we'd have got a favourable draw. And you're saying, wow, we could be in our semi-final. You don't know where it's going to go. The excitement would have just built and built and built. Now, I get your facts about the extra games and maybe injuries and all that, but I think if we'd have been in that hat with our secret been, come on, let's do a lot, you know? But I get your realism. I think you're being very realistic when you both say that, yeah. You know?
To be fair, Ox, I'm only saying that now that we're out. Like, going into the Benfica game at home, like, I was desperate for us to go through, because you know that way that competition's got something special with us, and as it's like one of the ones now that every season that we go into it, I always feel as though that like the sky's the limit kind of thing. Whereas like most other teams, they only see it that they can't even scrape out the group stages. So for us, I think it's a competition that they feel that we can go far in, if you mean. But I just feel now that we are out, it's kind of like
a blessing in disguise. Would be the term, maybe?
Aye. I think, especially for our manager.
The first time I've done any blessings on here. Your thoughts, Bridge? Bridget. Is that fair, Linda? I've been
yeah, I think so. Oh, there's Bridge back in.
Aye. And you come, Bridge? No, carry on, Linda.
No, sorry, I was just laughing. I had to put it back. Never mind. That was funny. Sorry, carry on, Paul. Sorry.
You go first, Linda, and let him calm down.
No, it's fine. In terms of the Europa League, I think, Ox, for me, it was the position we were in with the squad there at that point. Aye. And I know things might have got better because we'd have started to get people back. But when you looked at that team, they were dead on their feet. And there was people coming off the bench trying to make a difference who you're just coming back from your injury, somebody like Todd Cantwell. But if we'd had a few players back and we were able to, utilise the squad a bit more, who knows what would have happened. I think we could definitely have taken care of Marseille in the next round, but we would have then went on to play Liverpool. I think we were in their half of the draw, weren't we? But it was just at the time, Ox, when you looked at that game, and the same players were being asked to go to the well on numerous occasions. But you're right, though, if we had got through, the excitement would have built up, and who knows what could have happened.
Aye. Bridge?
Yeah, I agree with Linda there. I keep going back to we need to do, and that's the way I feel about it all. We need to do. Rangers need to do it. They need to do it on Saturday. If we don't do it on Saturday, then we could all disappear. So that's mad from a championship perspective. We need to do it.
No. Yeah, obviously it helps, mate. But they white flags, mate. Yeah, still in your own hands. It's always
in our own hands. That's what I'm trying to say. Although it's all in our own hands, we have to be realistic too. We must win at Ibrox. And it was the same against the European team. We should have won at Ibrox. And we have to have that in our head and our psyche. We're a club that wins at home games. No matter what, we win our home games. Can't afford to, in life, we can't afford to be losing at Ibrox, to be honest. It's happened a lot,
Well, this season's been a bit bizarre. It's been a bit bizarre. Right, come and join us, 0141 356 1972. Give us your hopes. Have we been unrealistic about Europe? Did you see it as a disaster, or did you think, like Linda and GB, was a blessing in disguise? GB.
I think Albert's touched on it as well, Ox, that the thing about the Europa League as well, it's starting to get to that point where the teams sort of drop into it. I mean, you've got like say Liverpool, and I think it was AC Milan as well and stuff like that. Like the big teams drop in. And granted, I know we've dealt with like Borussia Dortmund and stuff like that, But Albier's touched on it, that as the seasons are going on and on and on, like all these bigger teams are, like I says, dropping in, and the Champions League's getting further and further away. So this is where it's, I think, for us to even get through to like quarterfinals and stuff like that in Europe is, I think, fantastic achievement. As much as you're not winning anything, the money it comes with, the prestige is saying that a Scottish team can get that far, considering the budget that we're playing in, considering the parks that we're having to deal with Ox week in, week out. I think it's just, I mean...
we touched on that last night, mate. We're still not recovered for that debacle at the day.
Oh, do you know, it's amazing, Ox, that we're coming back into the start of the league again, and it's all went quiet again. I mean, not one thing for the folk that run the game to say that they're still following up their whole investigation and all that carry on. It's scandalous. I mean, if that was Rangers, you would still be in the headlines, you know, even through this international break. It's just, again, it says to me, Ox, that says it's important that we do win the title and we start, like, says, pushing on and getting a foothold in Scottish football again.
In standards, it's embarrassing, Linda.
It is embarrassing, the state of the pitches, the state of the stadiums. When you look at it, they're actually knocking back, for example, Rangers in terms of the away allocations. There's more and more teams talking about doing it now. That's a whole different conversation, Ox. The standard of football as well, you know, you get more plaudits for being able to kick somebody off the park, and an example of that is that tackle on young Ross McCausland. Now, that's been on and on for that boy. You think about that. He couldn't even play for Northern Ireland there because of it, and Michael O'Neill did the right thing by him, and I'm glad he did. But if you look at the standard of Scottish football, the pitches, the stadiums, everything, it needs an absolute review, and that's what Rangers were calling for. And they can't get the backing of the other teams, and there's not enough money. The clubs will argue that they don't have enough money to do upgrades in their pitches and their stadiums. Well, that's because they've got people running the Scottish football that shouldn't be, but they need to support clubs like Rangers who want a total review of football, Ox. And I don't know what has to happen for the rest of Scottish football to wake up, because that Dundee debacle, that's exactly what it was. And if you look at the state of the pitches across the Premier League at times, they're an absolute disgrace. Sorry for a rant.
You feel better for that?
Yes, absolutely.
It sounded great, Linda.
Thanks,
great.
Bridge.
I don't think anybody could argue with what you said, Linda. Bridge?
I agree with Linda. I agree with her aunt. And some of the things that we've got to say have been said. And I've not got very much to add at that point, to be honest. I just agree with her. I can't say anything else other than agree with her.
You know, I get it. We get extremes occasionally, wet, colds and that. You know, I mentioned it last night, GB, we've had 2 games called off because of the weather. One, because the other team failed to travel. Yeah, when they knew bad weather was coming in, which is just unbelievable. And 2, because a team couldn't take precautions because there's a bit of rain in Scotland. I know it doesn't happen that often.
Ox, you would expect that at maybe even junior level. I mean, that these kind of silly things happening. Maybe not even at junior level. The way some of the clubs are run down in their leagues and that. But again, for our top league, for these things to be happening is scandalous. And I really do hope the likes of Sky put pressure on the SPFL for it, because they're trying to promote a product. They're trying to sell a product on it, and like I says, these guys are needing pressure on them. I hope Rangers again as well, and some of the other clubs that have asked for this kind of investigation, that they try and, like I says, come together, because it's for the sake of them as well, Ox. Because if they let things continue, then you're going to end up having the point where we're going to go back to where there'll be no Sky. I mean, Sky will walk away again, and it will end up being some company like, I don't know, like Viaplay or something like that, taking it for buttons. I mean, so they're agreeing to know about the TV deal, but I tell you something, if Sky walk away, then they're going to be in a whole world of pain after that.
Well, I think there's a lot of competition to Sky now, and if you get it right, you can improve the deal. But you've got to have the product to improve any deal, Linda. And you've
Yeah,
got
you
to be
have.
reliable, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a game getting cancelled, as you say, everybody knew the weather forecast. It was almost as if they took a gamble and they thought if the pitch cuts up a wee bit, it'll be more of a level playing field for us. And they just took it too far. And then I'm assuming that they would have lost their fee. Albeit, I think the rearranged game will be on Sky anyway, so they'll get their fee for that. But generally, in terms of the whole product of Scottish football, Ox, it needs to be improved. That's why European football is very, very important to us as well, because to be able to attract players to come to play in our league, it can be difficult, but they've got the carrot of the European football. So it is important for us to qualify and to go further in these competitions as well. But as I said there, I don't know what it's going to take for the rest of Scottish football to wake up, because it's the people that are currently running the game, Ox, that need to be removed.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more, Linda. Yeah. Right, okay. As we said, come and join us, 0141 356 1972. Give us your thoughts in that debacle. I know it was a few weeks ago now, but it was the last game we were due to play. Give us your thoughts on the state of Scottish football, what you do to improve it, and what should your club be doing? Do you think they've got any responsibility, or do we just focus completely on ourselves? Interesting to see what people think. But GB, this game, it's coming up the weekend. We've not got a clue. There's rumours of people coming back, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Obviously, we've heard about Ridvan. What's the important players, that the people who's been running about injuries, who you hope to see and who you hope to be on the road to recovery? If you want to pick, say, two, GB, who would be your two that you would choose?
Well, probably definitely a Ridvan. Like I says, I think he's been on a great vein of form for us, Ox, so we definitely need him back, especially hopefully for these two games that's something coming. And then I think if possible, maybe Seema. I think again, sometimes when a player's out injured, they become this great and fantastic player. But I think as it stands in New Ox, I would love to see somebody else on that left-hand side helping Silva. I mean, I think that would definitely make us stronger, especially with the kind of the kick between the legs of Wilson Cortez. I think if he was still fit, then I wouldn't be as kind of eager to get Seema back as quick as possible. But I think if the big man's there and available for these next 11 games, then I would much rather see him as quick as possible.
Well done, GB. I see what you've done there. That was quite clever. Linda, Seema on the left, Seema through the middle, Silva on the left, Silva through the middle. Could improve our team, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think that would be a big help to us. We having Seema back. It just gives us more options as well, because we touched on Dessers there, and I don't want to make it all about Dessers, but it would be good if we had other options. That we can maybe even, for example, maybe start him on the bench sometimes, as GB said earlier, and bring him on. But the more options the manager's got, the better. Somebody who had just come back, he came off the bench against Benfica, was Cantwell, and I think he could be really important for his Ox if we can get him back to playing the way he was playing when he got injured, because he had hit a bit of form. And just having his creativity, and he can offer something different as well. So he could be really key for us too, I think.
What position, Linda?
I still think he's better in the 10, and I know we've got Lawrence there as well, but I don't know. Could you get the two of them into the same team, Ox?
Well, I think you could put both of them with that, one of them in that right position, but I don't know if it's better or preferred option. But the two of them, I think Lawrence has done that job slightly better, but I'm getting back nearly 18 months, GB, but that's a valid question. To get the two of them in the team, one would have to play the way we played GB against, one would have to go and play deep, and I think that would be Lawrence, and I don't think that's ideal.
No, as we've seen, Lawrence can do really well going forward as well, Ox. But out of the two, Lawrence has shown that he can play in that position, and I think he's even said in his press conferences that he's willing to pick up the mantle if he needs to play in that kind of position. I think you want your best players in the park, Ox, and if the two of them are fit and available, then you get them in that team. And again, I know Cantwell's got to kind of help out and be adaptable for the manager as well. But as we've seen, when he's getting popped out on that right-hand side, the manager's instructions have not really been getting followed at times and stuff like that. I'd much rather have Cantwell doing the damage and having a Lawrence, like I says, there. I says even just to follow up sometimes, Ox. It doesn't have to be that he sits back all the time. I says Lundstram can do that. I mean, you've got, like I says, Lawrence and Cantwell can maybe even, like I says, break it when they're driving forward, and then, like I says, the formation changes when we're trying to defend.
I just think it would be in a good place, Bridgeman, if let's say Cantwell go back to that for him and he was giving you everything he had, and then you're replacing him with a fresh Tom Lawrence. You know, because substitutions is a big part of football at the moment, isn't it? Bridge? Oh, Linda?
Sorry about that. I'm back in, Paul. I must have got bumped off there. No, you're right. It is at the present, the whole grand scheme of things in football. Substitutions are the biggest part of the tactics, in my opinion. Once the game starts, it's all about how long they're going to last and how it's going to come in and so on and so forth. So all the manager's tactics are around about that. Who has he got? And personally speaking, as a big fan, I want the game to start with the best team on the pitch. But that doesn't always matter to the manager. So, and I'm talking not just our manager, but many managers. But they work it out and they look forward to being able to, shall we say, use their own thoughts and practices and tactics and so on and so forth. And that's what they use the players for. On Todd Cantwell, I'm desperate for him to get full fitness, get back to where he was. And I think he does a tremendous position in the team. Backing up the boy, we just mentioned him a minute ago. We've got a wee bit in. Oh my God, I keep missing this boy's name, for God's sake. What's wrong with me? Tom, that's it.
Tom Lawrence.
That's him, Tom Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think they work well together, I do.
Yeah, I think they've hardly played, you know, and
Yeah.
it'd be interesting. But if everybody's fit, it's a different puzzle he's got, Linda, for the one he's had most of the time,
He'll probably be quite glad. I think the first thing he'll get asked tomorrow is, can you give us an update on the injuries? And he says he's just felt like a doctor for most of these times since he's been at Rangers. It's a better position, I think, and the manager won't mind that. And I think that's a good point you make, Ox, about the use of subs, because he does, as I said earlier, he doesn't rush players back, and he likes to build up people's minutes, and he will use the squad. We've had managers in the past who were very reluctant to make substitutions at times, but he certainly doesn't really fall into that category, I don't think. They'll all have a part to play. You might find that Cantwell, although he's had a couple of weeks there where he's further into his recovery, he's maybe not got match fitness, so perhaps Ox he won't start at the weekend, but he will have a part to play, maybe coming on for Lawrence. I just think we're going to be needing everybody to contribute, Ox, I think, the next 11 games.
Stop having digs at GB. GB.
I was going to say, I heard that there at the end of the 11 games.
Sorry, GB.
She's on it tonight.
You're all right, Linda.
She's on it tonight.
Stirring that pot, I tell you.
She would expect, I tell you when it was GB, she was expecting hotel chocolate and got Maltesers. That's what's up with her. GB, but substitutions, it's changed again. 5 subs in it. You can refresh players, and half a team, mate,
Ox, and one thing, our manager's been brilliant at it. Like, he's not been scared to make substitutions at bang on half time and all that as well. So it's
Usually
a good
because somebody's injured.
or not doing the instructions. No, but I think it's good for us, and you make a good point about, like, say, Lawrence. I think there has been games like that at Oxford where we've took Cantwell off. There's kind of been that kind of wee face that he's not been happy with it, but the manager's explained that he's putting Lawrence on, and it's all about the team, and it's all about, like he says, freshening up the quality. And I mean, as long as the two players can be slightly happy with that, then I am all for that. Like I says, that's the kind of quality you want, that you can take off a right good player and put a right good player on the same position, and nothing changes really in the team. But again, it will just depend on, like I says, who we get back. Ox, I think, like I says, if it's a case of, like I says, there's not enough midfielders to create, which has been a thing that we have been lacking with, then I would much rather see Lawrence in there, because he's got a shot on him as well, Ox, isn't he? I mean, he can hit a dig for outside the box, and Cantwell's great at, like I says, that kind of the run off the ball and run into the box and stuff like that. So having that, and maybe getting ahead of the game and then making substitutions is maybe the way to go. But if the injuries come back, then the quality's going to go up on that bench. I think we've seen it once this season. I think we've looked at the bench and the manager's had one headache where he's had total quality. I mean, it was something like that, where it was Lawrence was on the bench and you had Dessers and I think, tapping my head, Sterling and stuff like that. I think you had quite a strong bench at one point in one of the games. I can't remember what one it was, but it was a strong starting 11 and a strong bench.
It'd be interesting to see how it pans out, you know. Cantwell, Lawrence, we've got young Diamande as well, Bridgeman. A lot of people fancy him. He's got a lot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you're at the game, that lad he's had a good effect on the fans, and that's for sure. They all quite like him. As far as I can hear, they all quite like him. We haven't seen too many mistakes by him, and too many bad habits. He's always 100%. He gives you 100%. He's got a fabulous shot on him. 99 times out of 100, it's on target. I must admit, but he scored a couple of goals. You can't ask too much more from him. He's only in the place 10 minutes, if you follow me. My goodness gracious, he's a great player, and he's going to be a smashing player for us as he goes on.
Initial thoughts, Linda?
Ox, I didn't actually catch that last bit of what Bridge said there, sorry.
About Diamande, what's your initial thoughts on Diamande?
Yeah, Diamande. Yeah, I mean, he scored a couple of goals when he first came into the team, didn't he? I think he started to look maybe a wee bit tired, Ox. I don't know if you would agree with that, because I don't think he had played much football since before Christmas and New Year. So effectively, it was kind of a, without a pre-season sort of type thing, because of when the league finished that he was playing in. So, but I liked the way that he was happy to have a shot, and he seemed to get about the pitch. But I think he's been away playing with Ivory Coast as well, so I don't know how fresh he's going to be when he comes back. But I've liked the look of him, and as I said there, I did like the fact he looked to have a shot at goal, Ox, from outside the box.
Aye, he scored twice, different kinds of goals, but both outside the box. Spot on, London. GB, your thoughts?
I like looking at him. Like I says, he's again another player that can hit a shot from outside the box, which we've been lacking in our team for God knows how long. And I think again it's that quality, Ox. Even if he was on the bench and you're bringing him off for the likes of Lawrence or swap him out with a Cantwell or something like that, Ox, I think again we're just starting to see the quality that the manager can sign. And I says if he's adding a couple of more players come the summer, then I says that bench is starting to look at like I says a proper squad. I think they know we've sometimes got a wee bit of kind of fillers rather than players that are going to come on and make an impact, Ox. And I say I'm hopeful for like say the Mora and the press conference that we hear. Hopefully, like I says, a couple of guys back, because it will help the manager kind of like I says manages the team as Linda touches on, some of the players are only got to be back for international duty, so it's got to be a quick turnaround for the manager.
Aye, it's going to be interesting. Diamandi, I think he's got potential, you know. I don't know if he's heard the debate last night, but I think Dujon Sterling's got potential. I don't know what position you see him playing in. What we've seen so far, I think his best position is defensive midfield. We had a long debate last night, which was quite interesting. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts briefly. Linda first, then Bridge.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I thought he did okay when he was up on the right hand side. He won as a penalty, didn't he? And he could have had a couple of goals as well. But probably defensive midfield maybe is a bit more attuned to maybe like his defensive side. I think that's maybe we were told he was in for cover for Tav at right back. And just unfortunately we've not even really seen him play that position very much, so we don't even know like what sort of right back he is, to be honest. But I just think he's got something about him. He's very much an athlete as well, Ox, and I hope that he's fully recovered from that wee knock that he had, because he's going to be important.
Just before we move to Bridge, what did the rest of the family think of him?
Yeah, they think he's got something about him, definitely. Can see a lot of, just the guy's got ability. He's proven that by playing in these different positions. But yeah, the rest of the family think that he's definitely one that we'll make money on.
All right, okay. Bridgeman, your thoughts?
Back to what I said earlier, I have to agree with Linda. I hate to say it, Linda, but I keep saying it. And I'm following you. I do agree with virtually everything you've said, and that's the gospel truth. I'm not going to comment and make anything saying against what you said. I think you're bang on, absolutely bang on.
Do you rate the boy, Bridge?
Yes. Big style.
Yeah, okay. GB.
I rate him, Oxen. I think Robert last night made a great point that it's good to have possibly a utility player in the squad, Ox. We might not get to see his proper position. I know Southside touched on that last night, that we need to give him a position and let's see him in it. But I think in this point in time, we've got time for that because he is young and the boy's just looking for game time. He's mentioned that in his press conferences. I think we can use him as a utility. We're going to probably lose, like say, a few players in that kind of area in the midfield come the summer. I think he's a good backup in there. Again, if Tab's needing rested, he's a perfect backup in there. And again, on that right side, if it's, maybe 70-odd minutes, and the manager's looking for a player just to come in and do a job for the last, so-called, well, sometimes 100 minutes, he's a perfect player for it, Ox. And then maybe in time, when players move on, and if, like say, our Ascan doesn't pick up the mantle, then maybe there's got to be a place for him in that kind of, like you say, is that defensive midfield. But as it stands now, we've got a player there that can help the squad, especially during a season, Ox.
All right. I'm glad you excuse me. I'm glad you mentioned Raskin there. I mean, Raskin this time last year, I'll go to Bridge first. This time last year, him and Cantwell would have been the first name. And I think everybody's team sheet, if I'm being honest, roughly. Obviously, people, their favourites, maybe people like Tab, etc. I get on that. But they were the guys that were maybe exciting us. And now, Cantwell's come back to a bit of form before he got injured. Raskin's, due to a lot of reasons, hasn't had the greatest of seasons. He's got to get himself back to form and hopefully fitness as well, Bridge.
Well, I think all the fans are saying the same thing, very similar things anyway. Raskin, as you said there, those two were absolutely number one people in the team sheet, you know. Now they've been overtaken. I know that they've fallen away because of injury and things like that and are fighting to get back, but they actually have been overtaken. I think the form of John Lundstram, for instance, has cast a big shadow over any other defensive and any other guy that thinks he's a defensive midfield player. I think Lundstram been absolutely outstanding. And anybody, you're not going to pick Raskinen and put in his place, no matter what. You just never do it, unless it goes back to a couple of months ago there or whatever it was, when everybody was saying, well, time to get rid of Lundstram. But my goodness, he's a bit of form, and he's really, really good. And I don't know whether we'll keep him. We have to keep both of them, because one might go and the other might not. I can't see Raskinen actually being able to oust Lundstram in the defensive mid, unless he can push him further up and be a midfielder.
Right, we'll no debate it, but we'll just get a yes/no answer off the three. Is GB right? The debate last night in the red corner, or should we say the blue corner, was South Sides, and the orange corner was Stevie. Who are you going for? With the John Lundstram debate, South Side. Sorry, South Side. GB.
I would go with Stevie, because I think it's that hard to replace the quality now, and for the money that we have to spend to replace that kind of quality.
Linda?
Yeah, Stevie as well, for what probably agree with the points GB's made.
Bridge?
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
Oh dear.
And what about you, Ox?
Oh, do you know, it's a real tough thing, you know. I would like to know what the manager wants, Linda. I get it. John Lundstram's arguably been the most consistent player, bar your favourite under Philip. Come on, is that fair?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Super Jack. Somebody was sitting in his seat.
Unfortunately, he wasn't there.
But would you agree with that, GB? He has been the most consistent player under Philip. Come on, is that fair?
Aye, Ox, always fit and available. That's the thing for me, Ox. We need fit and available players and with quality, and very hard to find now for us. And again, it's all right going out and maybe getting a youngster in, or a player around about the 24, 25 mark. But again, they've got to come in, they've got to bed in, they've got to understand the league. I think I agree with Stevie. It's all down to the contract as well, how it will make fans happy. If we rocked up and gave Lundstram a 4-year contract, I wouldn't be probably happy with that. But I think if it was a 2-year with an option of a third, then I would go with that. You mean, because I think what I say is it's very hard for us to replace that, especially what I say is these games that you're away to the Ross Counties and all that. Lundstram's been there and done it, and I think there's a place for him, especially the amount of games that we play, Ox. I think what I say is he's a signing that is an easy one for us.
I think your fix has got to be right. You know, I did take Southside's argument on board that if you there'll be no shy if you give him a 2-year deal, it'll be about £4 million. But the manager, if the manager wants him, I'm happy to support anybody getting a new contract, because I think it's really going to be interesting watching this manager build his own squad, Bridge.
Yeah, I think he's just purely from a management perspective, he's given us a vision, in my opinion. If we are desperate to keep him, if we don't want him to move, all the lovely things that you could say about him, and he's actually transformed Ibrox and all the fans that are with him. By the feel of it anyway, everybody's 100% behind manager, and I'm including the team in that. Or sometimes it doesn't actually look like it, but they are. So the man's tremendous, just tremendous for me. He's my man of the season, 100% for me. Sorry, I made it out to be he's the only thing there.
No, I don't think you'll be alone in their thoughts. I don't think you'll be alone totally, Bridge. But Linda, I mean, football's a funny thing. The manager might say, right, okay, oh no, I don't want to use that much of our budget, and then you go for Joe Bloggs and his demands go up, and you end up with maybe your third, fourth, fifth choice. but you're letting somebody go in financial reasons. Some people would say that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so, Ox. And, I think from what the manager said, he's 100% going to be involved in these decisions. He's made some comments before also about the budget that he's going to have in the summer. He was asked about, the Scottish sort of contingent that we've got. He was talking about whether, as a club, we need to go out and maybe, look at some of the players that are playing in our league, when he was asked about the durability of the players and availability. And he said that, I think he said that might be something we would look at, but he did say then that perhaps we've got eyes on other players in terms of the budget that's going to be available. But I'm with you. I would just put my trust in him just now, because I think he's earned that, Ox, because what he's done with that group of players that he inherited, and also the injuries that he's had to deal with, I think he's earned it, Ox. I don't know if you would agree with that, and we'll see what happens.
I think the biggest compliment you can pay, Phil, was how popular it is amongst the support in so little time, but we'll come back to that. GB, you can chip in with that right away. Well, we've reached that time of the evening. The favourite part in the Bridgeman's household, we're going to have a tune.
I close my eyes and picture the lovely Ibrox sea. I never even think about the 40 shades of green. The lads that I will sing about, King William's chosen few, are a credit to our loyal club in their shirts of royal blue. I think that I can see again Davy Wilson on the wing, Miller, Brand and Henderson, for praises we did sing. Greg and Shearer played their part, and Slim Jim Baxter too, and they lifted many trophies in their shirts of royal blue. The Hibs, the Hearts, the Celtic, the two teams in Dundee, and the Northern Lights of Aberdeen don't mean that much to me. And other teams throughout the land have supporters, just a few, but the team we love is Rangers in the shirts of royal blue. I think that I can see again Davy Wilson on the wing, Miller, Brand and Henderson, the praises we did sing. Greg and Shearer played their part, and Slim Jim Baxter too, and they lifted many trophies in their shirts of royal blue. And they lifted many trophies in their shirts of royal blue, and lifted many trophies in their shirts of royal blue.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, that's a phone-in show. We need you to make it work. That's fair, GB, innit?
It is. Just give us a call, make your point, and what I says, we'll take it around the panel.
But also remember, if you're listening on the archives, don't phone in because you get Fox out his bed.
And do your homework. Make sure you know how many games is left in the season.
Aye. Aye, well, put that down as a footpad, GB, yeah.
That's it, mate.
We all make them, mate. Aye, well, mate, Raskin, was it Raskin? Where were we? Raskin?
Aye, and come on about how he's galvanised a bit of the support as well. Ox, since he's come in as well.
I think, sorry, but come on, the support, considering, let's be honest, I don't know about you, GB, you maybe looked at it closer than I did, but he was mentioned in the frame. I knew nothing about Philip, come on, nothing.
No, I got to admit, Ox, see when it was coming down to the last two, I think, was it him and the boy for Australia, Muscat. I was like, oh no, we're going down a road again where we're going to bring in this total novice manager and it'll go 6 months and we'll give him a budget in the summer and we'll be probably getting rid of him again the following year. I honestly thought that was going to go down that road to Ox. I just didn't know the guy. But I tell you something, brilliant call for the board, Ox. Whoever was doing the interviews, the due diligence on him, just looking in the background, asking him how he was going to improve the team and stuff like that. They've done a fantastic job, and hats off to them because they've nailed it. This guy now, once he gets a bit of money, and I think that's why it's important that we do win the league, because the pot could be even bigger for him. I think if we get a wee bit of money behind this guy, give him time to build the team, that says we will see more trophies at Ibrox than what we're seeing now.
Wonder.
Yeah, I think GB makes a good point as well about, if he's given some money to spend and he gets some of his own players in Ox. As I touched on earlier, it'll be interesting to see what type of player he's looking at and where he's looking. I know we've got scouting networks, we should have them all over the world, I understand that. But particularly, as I said, the comments he's made about availability. I think he's talked about the players being available in his previous posts. I think he said he had 90% availability at one point. Well, look at what he's had to work with so far this season. And I think he's made a few pops as well about the conditioning of the players or the lack of it. So I'm like you, Ox, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what he does in the summer. And obviously they'll be working behind the scenes on things like that now, I would imagine. But also, as well as I said there, I wonder if he's looking towards the Scottish League. And I know Brid sometimes doesn't like us to spend our money in this league, but surely to goodness we've got to think about players that are able to play here, Ox. But I'm talking about the good ones. But it's exciting.
Who? Go on, give me 3.
I would go for the boy that plays up front for Killie. So good I can't remember his name. The young boy that plays at Aberdeen.
Connor Bannon.
Yeah, I like him. And the two boys that play in the final third for Killie. I think the 3 of them are decent players.
You mean the boy? Are you talking about the boy Armstrong?
Yes.
I'm not sure if he would sign for us, Linda.
All right. Okay. Right, leave that one with me. Come back to me.
Right. You never mentioned the one that's been debated a lot.
I didn't want to because I wasn't sure if you wanted me to talk about him. But yes, I would go and get him as well.
Well, okay. All right. I think there's a mix to be made here. Listen, Bridge has been consistent for well over a decade now, yeah. I get his argument is sound when you consider what's happening and what the way they're trying to treat their support at the moment. I get it, but I've always had the view, Bridge, sort of opposite. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face. But these players have got to be better, and they've got to be better than what we've got if we do sign them, Bridge.
Well, yeah, obviously, I would imagine that's what everybody's thinking. But if you look at the last couple that we did get in, I'm afraid that, and I liked the young lads with Motherwell, the boy they brought in. I thought he was going to be very good for us, but he never made it. So there's I mean, it's not just a big step up; it's absolutely massive step up to their club. Everything about their club is this. It's just massive compared to anywhere they've been, in my opinion. And I'm sorry, guys. I mean, to everybody, all the guys that are listening all over the world, please listen to me. I don't care about any football team in Scotland other than Rangers. Only Rangers, and I don't want to give them one brown copper coin.
Yeah, but would you cut off your nose to spite your face, bro?
No, look, well, if Rangers go out and do it, they're not going to do what I say. Right? They're going to go out and they'll buy whomever they want to buy. And the ones that they've brought in have been, shall we say, no bad. But none of them that they've brought in, I mean, I thought Ryan Jack was going to be a really good.
Yeah, Ryan Jack, you've got to see his success. His number of games he's maybe played isn't great, but Ryan Jack's been a good player for us. Is that fair?
Absolutely. But then again, he didn't cost us anything, and virtually the suitor was virtually the same. It was only shall I say, a modest sum of money for him.
Oh, he was free as well, mate. We never paid.
I know, but I think what's correct. We didn't do that. We didn't give him the money up front. No, I just don't want to go near him. I was listening or watching whatever was happening in the papers as well at times, with the Scotland game in Shankland, never shown, never done, and so on and so forth. And I wouldn't certainly. Obviously, Rangers are going to do what they want to do, and I'm not going to. I'm going whomever they get, I'll support with my best ability. I will.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer, and it'll be interesting what the manager does. GB, won't it?
As Ox, again, I think it just depends how this goes. I mean, this season, I think what I say is you might see a bigger overhaul if we're in that Champions League, and if we're no, then you might see is this, like I say, is maybe letting a lot of the players go, and not to go back to the kind of Sterling debate, but like I say, if there's like say Ryan Jack leaving, then Sterling kind of takes up his mantle. I mean, that's where I kind of see it, that you slip him into that kind of replacement. You don't have to spend then as well, Ox. I mean. And then it allows the manager maybe to strengthen, like this is where he wants to, which could be possibly up front, I think. And then I think you're looking at probably a central defender as well coming in. Again, that might change. You might look at the case if it's saving money, that they just renew Balogun for another year, and use the money wisely elsewhere. I think the thing is, Ox, for me, is I'd rather that we maybe, like you say, look at the Scottish League, buy in the best that we can, hopefully for a decent price, free transfers, etc. And then the money that we are going to spend on players that we allow Philip Clement to buy in the quality, as he's been proven, like say Diamande and Cortez. I think that's.
Are they proven yet? Are they proven?
Well, I think for us, the way our track record's been, I think they've came in and they've proved that they can hit the ground running. Ox, they've made them. I think Diamande came in and dug us out. I think in St Johnson's game, they scored that goal. I think that kind of turned the game for us. And then Cortez as well. I think he was lively doing that left side when we were looking a bit shaky with Wilson Seema. So I think if they two were coming in, I do think they strengthen our squad and they make us better.
I mean, I think the two boys have got potential, but what I would say is, if I'm being really honest, I think we've not seen enough of them to judge over a long period of time. And I think Diamande's got a lot of football ability, and Cortez is young with potential, but are they finished articles yet? I'm not sure. Could they be outstanding for us? Potentially, yes, Linda.
Yeah, I think the Diamande one, it's an obligation to buy, isn't it? So I think obviously he'll be here in the summer. With Cortez, with the option to buy, Clement probably wanted to have a look at him, Ox, but unfortunately with this injury, I mean, I don't know whether we'll see him again. It's unlikely. So are we going to actually take an option up? I mean, he's got to obviously want to stay as well. But would we want to go and buy somebody that we've maybe not had a chance to have a proper look at? I don't know. It'll be interesting times to see what happens with that. But no, I agree with you. I think Diamande is the one who's shown that potentially he's going to be able to play in this league. And he's obviously hit the ground running to a certain degree. But Cortez, the jury's very much still out because we just haven't seen enough of him.
I think, if I'm honest, I thought Diamandi started really well, considering he didn't have a pre-season. I think his best game for us has been away in Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
Ox, can I just jump in with one more thing about that? The way that Diamandi and Cortez, I think they are the young quality that we want coming in off the bench. So I feel as though we should have a right strong 11. Like say we were talking there earlier, a Cantwell, a Lawrence with their experience on the park. And then as the game is going on, we're able to bring on a young talented boy, like say a Diamandi, a young talented boy. We swap Seymour off and we put Alexia Cortez on. Quality doesn't overly dip, but the experience obviously dips a bit. But I think that's what we're, as a club, that's where we need to be. We're going to develop these young boys. But that's the type of quality that I would want to be available on the bench. Unfortunately, I don't think our academy is going to give us that. I think our academy is going to, as it stands now, is give us squad fillers. And this is where where we need to be wise in the transfer market, or whether we go into, like you're saying there, our own league.
That'd be interesting. I think there's a couple of promising boys about, mate, but it's getting their chance. I think if you go to Diamandi's agent, he's selling you, he's a third choice number 10, mate. He doesn't sign for you. Doesn't sign.
No, but I do think he still signs in the basis that there's as Clement says, it's a squad. So, like, I don't know, game to game that you'll have maybe Cantwell starting, and just say for talking sakes, we have Seema. They're the main two that start, but then in rotation, like I says, they're coming on, and then maybe again Cantwell drops the bench to keep his minutes ticking there, and then you start with Diamandi, you can swap that kind of quality out. I think I think that's the level we should be aiming for. We have a right strong experience and quality on the park to start with, and then like I says, we have these kind of guys that hopefully turn into gems that we can sell on.
How do you become a gem when you're sitting on the bench?
With the rotation, with squad rotation, Oxford says if Diamandi comes in and say for talking sakes he has this St Johnstone game and then hods the shot, then like I says, it's up to obviously Cantwell on that to try and fight for that.
Move him. All right. I get it, mate. Aye, good point. Aye. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting. We'll jump right onto the summer here, Linda. But it's going to be interesting when we watch the manager, who's going to keep, who's going to stay, who's going to bring in. Is he going to go for the Linda Scottish selection, or are we going to see players that we've never heard of coming in the door yet because they know them and they've scouted them? Because I think at the moment, as we sit today, the support, whatever Phil goes and does, we trust him, and it's happened very quickly.
Yeah, definitely, Ox. As I said earlier, he's absolutely earned our trust. I suspect it will be a mixture, Ox. It wouldn't surprise you if he does bring in a few what we would call hidden gems, maybe from abroad. Diamandi, for example, is supposed to be highly rated. That's what we're reading. I had never even heard of him. Like most fans, I don't think we'd heard of him. And when you went and look at, they did the obligatory YouTube video, and it showed you some great pieces of skill. But also this player trading thing is GB touched on it. That's the profile they want to bring in and then sell them on for a profit, because he's talked about that before. But I suspect Ox it'll be a bit of a mixture. I might be totally wrong on this.
But
it would surprise me, Ox, if he doesn't go and maybe buy a couple of players that are playing in the Scottish League. But as I say, it's just an opinion.
All right, we've been joined by old Davy, who's just back a cruise from Baltimore. Evening, Davy.
Yeah, good evening, Ox. Evening, Linda. Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Evening, Davy.
Good, Davy. Good to hear you.
I used to. Aye. So who's eating all the Easter eggs then?
What one are you going for, Davy?
I'm going for a Galaxy.
You with me, Davy?
I just said I cheered you up.
Yeah.
I'll go for Maltesers. Come on, don't be silly.
You and Linda
Linda's got good taste.
You and Linda can cheer the Maltesers with a straw, Davy.
Aye, I've still got some left for that night out.
I don't believe that.
Aye, but I was listening last night as well. Regarding what we're talking about there earlier on, we're talking about these games that are coming up. I know we always put the emphasis on the importance that this, we've got to win this, we've got to win that. But as far as I'm concerned, at this moment in time, the next two games are totally off the scale. They're massive, because if we can get and do that monkey mob and get 5 points in front of them, I think we're a stone waller as a league. I don't know what you think about that. Maybe getting too far ahead of myself, but I think if we can get 5 in front of them, we'll be hard to catch.
Well, it would be FEVs. GB.
Aye, Davey, I agree, mate. I think what it says it would be, it would help settle the nerves, definitely. What it says, if we get the 6 points in these next two games, would put us right in the driving seat and put all the pressure across the city. I think even the Dundee, the rearranged game, Davey, I think if we can secure that one as well, again, that just it means there's no these games in Holland and all that hanging at us and stuff like that. I think that would kind of help us as well. I don't know. I said at the start of the show, as it stands now in my eyes, and what keeps me relaxed, mate, is that as long as we win every game and we end up with 2 draws in all forms, then we still are going to be champions, mate.
Yeah.
Linda, then Bridge.
I would agree with Davey to a certain extent about the Old Firm game at Ibrox. I would like us to win that. I know that's an understatement, but I'd like us to go to Parkhead for the last Old Firm game 5 points ahead, Ox. That would be my dream scenario. But I'd like
to go 11 points ahead, Linda.
I don't think the 11 will happen, but you never know, Ox. But certainly, if you think about it, what we can affect, if we can win, our games, including, I just think we really need to go out and put them under pressure as well. And as you said earlier, if we beat them at Ibrox, and if we do go 5 points ahead, I think that could be absolutely crucial.
Aye, pressure does strange things to football teams. I've seen it over the years, Bridgeman.
You better believe it. Pressure's everything, isn't it? Like, obviously, I've got the biggest game of the season coming up at the weekend, and I want us to win that, obviously. And the Old Firm game, well, that's going to take care of itself. And obviously, every Rangers fan wants Rangers to win. And some of us are quite fanatical about that, in the sense that it's time. We're a far better team than a lot of folk to give us credit for, although there's some of them starting to change their mind under this manager. But we still haven't taken nothing after them, nothing. So we have to do it at our own pitch. We have to do it. We have to show them just what it's like playing against the Rangers, a proper Rangers team. Now, I know, given the squad that we've got, we're probably not going to see a proper Rangers team in there, but we're going to have guys that's going to do what they haven't done, our Rangers team hasn't done against Celtic for quite a wee while, and that's get stuck right into them and don't give it in the way. That's what we hope for, and if we do that and play our own game, then we've got a great chance of winning, and that's what we want. We want that great chance.
But we've got a massive game before that. We need to win on Saturday, David.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, well, we lost all, Davey.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, we need to win on Saturday, Davey.
Oh yeah, of course you have. Of course, I think that'll take care of itself. But what I'm trying to emphasise is, if you go back not so long ago, I bet none of us would have been talking about winning leagues, getting cups, I mean, we brought up the issue of European. I was listening to Suicide, they've all got different opinions of where you want to be, but you've got to realise where we are. And Europe's just, this is only my opinion, everybody's got their own opinion. At this moment in time, when we were going through where we are with the injuries and we got the break, that's been a great thing, sort of tonic for us. So I'm not sorry we're out of Europe. It would have been great for the Bears to go away again, blah, blah, blah. But our concept, we'll not have a better chance of winning this league as it stands at the moment. That's what I'm just saying. So Europe was just an extra few more games, some more injuries. We don't need to worry about that now. So that's out the road. So at this moment in time, as we all say, the next game's the one that counts. But what I'm saying is the next two games, if we can get that 5 points, they know we can only throw it away. And we can only do that now at the moment, throw it away.
I get it, David. I get it. David, can I ask you something?
Certainly.
How you fix for a score?
I'll give you a score anything.
What I was going to ask you is,
They want a Rangers.
when the manager come in, did you see this coming, mate? You're a man of experience, certain vintage. You go back to to Bolton, didn't you? So
not at all. No. Don't, anybody that says they could have seen this coming or telling porkies. Transformation. This is what's I'm looking. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I'm thinking the next season as well, and what he can do, what he's doing at the moment with what he has. What's he going to do like when he gets more expansive and brings in what he wants? That's something I think we've all got to look forward to. And there's only one person that's doing it. I just hope he gets back to help to let him do that.
Aye. And if we can win these games like GB's saying, these 3 games we've got left at the end of the season, GB, he deserves it back. He deserves it back.
You're at it, boy. I'm just wishing the season away. That's what I'm doing. Ox, what it says, the manager, I think it showed the character of the man when he was talking to Souness and stuff like that, saying that he had zero money to spend in January. Never spat out the dummy, worked the problem. And that's what he's always done since he's came in. He's been able to work out solutions and put a team on the park that's willing to go out there and fight and win for us. And what it says, we're in a fantastic position now where we're sitting going into this game against Hibs, and we just need the players to do it now. It's up to them. The manager's done everything he can. We just need them all to go out now and, against Hibs, get the 3 points, and then all focus goes on to the following week. Aye. Mm-hmm.
Win the league and we go top of the league on Saturday night again. Simple as that. Under.
Yeah, I think that's important as well, Ox. You know, it's a chance for us to play on the Saturday and put a bit more pressure on. I mean, the Motherwell game, you know, just looking back there, you know, like that was a wee bit of a body blow, but I don't think we saw that coming, Ox. But, you know, they recovered from that. They went out and obviously they played really well against Benfica away. That was a good game. And then we took care of Hibs in the Scottish Cup. So he did say that there was going to be a bump in the road. And I'm just hoping that was the bump, Ox, the Motherwell game. And we now can just go on and chalk off the victories. Because after we came back, you know, in January there, we went sort of 10 wins in a row. You know, it was some run they were on. And when you think about...
I'd take 10 wins in a draw for at the end of the season.
Absolutely. There's no reason why we can't go on that type of run again, Ox, you know. Mm-hmm. It's all there for them.
All right, here's a wee question for you, GB, yeah? Combined assists and goals, who's at the top of the tree for the Gers this season?
Seema?
No. He's sitting third, mate. Third, but we've really missed him. The top of the tree with 10 assists and 21 goals is Linda.
James Tavernier.
Yes. James Henry. Tavernier.
James Henry, yes.
Yeah. Who's second?
I'm not saying it.
Can I say it?
Yes.
It's CD9.
CD9, yeah. CD9 with 16 goals, 6 assists, yeah. And then he sits behind, just in front of Seema with 15 goals and 3 assists. And obviously Seema's missed the season since January. It'd be frightening where we'd be with goals. Maybe where would be if Seema would have stayed fit under.
Yeah, definitely. And even under Michael Beale, Seema was the kind of bright light, wasn't he, Ox? He was, his performances were good. He came on his game and he was scoring goals, but he was in terrific form, and just our luck that he goes away to the AFCON and doesn't even kick a ball and still gets injured. But as we said earlier, if we can get him back to play some part in these next, really important part of the season, it would be a big bonus for us, I think.
Aye. Well, he does what he does. The boy Dowell goes away to the training camp, and I think he stubbed his toe in the grass, and he's been, we just can't catch a break. Bridgman.
Yeah, absolutely right. We can't catch a break, that's for sure. And, you've got to laugh at some of the things that's going on in football. Really, truly. The amount of injuries that our players get when they're in international duty is outstanding. As far as injuries are concerned, outstanding. The number of them is pathetic for the club. Absolutely pathetic. So maybe they've been, but when they went, and we've got to ask, seriously, guys, that's got to be investigated, looked at. Why on earth are our players? I'm not saying they're the only ones, but certainly the most prominent. When they go abroad, play for their country, invariably there's an injury or some crazy thing happening with them. We really and truly got to. I'm going to scream. It's really upsetting. It's really upsetting for me. I'm not happy with it in any way, shape, or form. All right. So I don't know what we're going to do with the manager.
I don't think we've suffered as much as there's other teams. Maybe, even this week, mate, have come out worse than us. But listen, I get your point, mate. And when somebody doesn't even kick a ball and it happens.
Exactly. Stupid stuff,
Davey, we need to catch a break, hopefully, and things our luck can just change at the right time with injuries.
Well, yeah, definitely, but it's the same old story, but they don't make them the way they used to. They're not as tough as what they were. I mean, John Gregg played in a European Cup final with a dodgy ankle and won a European trophy. There's no name in that team there, or even any of the leagues at the moment could be anything like these guys. And it's just, there must be something in the cornflakes or something, but they're not as tough mob as what they used to be.
I think there's something in the cortisone, mate. Something in the cortisone back in the day.
Aye, but I think getting back to there's running here for the league, I think it's imperative that more so the Old Firm as it stands, there's not one of them. Ourselves and the puddle drinkers cannot afford to lose any more points. Not at this stage. I think that's what's got to be at the forefront. And we'll see what happens there.
I think I read a stat, mate, that they've only been ahead in the last 9 games or something twice in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read a stat. Whether that's true or not, I wouldn't know, because I don't follow them as closely as Bridge does. But they'll be interesting. And of course, we'll give the manager a warm welcome, and hopefully we can turn them over, and then we can see what difference did it make. Yes. How you treat referees and respect. That's another story for a whole different debate.
Yeah.
Linda, Linda, Davy's point, yeah. The game's changed, isn't it? Players don't play when players in the past would have played it. They're not allowed to.
And also, I mean, when you think about all the facilities that they've got now and all the, what they've got access to, sports science, and there's a big emphasis on things like that. But back in, years ago, they maybe didn't have that, but they still seem to be able to play more games. But our manager has made a couple of comments about the conditioning of the players, and he wants players that can play the 3-game week for a certain part of the season anyway, particularly when obviously when we're in Europe. And I don't know, he was obviously must have been looking at what they did pre-season, Ox, and we've maybe not heard the last of that. So I think the players, when they come back for pre-season, you don't know whether they're going to be in for a bit of a shock, or it might be the type of work that they're doing, because he's alluded to the fact that there's been a lot of what he says muscle injuries, Ox, and that's surely just down to the conditioning of the players, I would imagine.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Maybe the previous regime ran them too hard. There's no the right training involved, or it's usually maybe not enough. Only time will tell. But he has had that pop a few times, GB, innit?
Aye. I think you've hit the nail on the head, Docs. I think that the last regime probably ran them too much. I think there was too much probably cardio going on rather than actual strength work with, let's say, building the muscles and stuff like that. And I think that's what Clement's going to be more focusing on come the summer. I think he'll be wanting to get them into the gym and get them solid, because I think that's the thing. I think what he's seen is it's the impact injuries and stuff like that, and like say just playing normal training games that he's seen the players breaking down on. He knows that they need to be more robust, and like I says, I'm sure he's got a plan in place come the summer. But like I says, I think Clement's even been surprised how bad it's been, even with his career that he's had in managerial career.
Yeah. But you take it, Davey. If you take the boy Cortez, who were up for a ball against Kilmarnock, come down and get injury, it's just a bit of a freak, and is that his hammy? And you're like, geez, it's nothing to do with training, it's nothing to do with fitness. It's just one of these things that happens. You take the Danilo one, Seamer away, and nothing to do with us. He's away in Africa for the AFCON, and he's not even playing and gets injured.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Anyway, how's the injury situation? No, because I've never really heard much about it. Who's out and who's in?
I'm fighting fit, mate. I'm ready to go.
Aye, that's your snooker. I heard you busted cheating at that, I know.
I wouldn't say buster cheating. I would say that I was involved in some gamesmanship.
Oh.
Aye, big Stevie, a Ben Q.
Oh, he was easy.
A Ben Q, mate, tip.
It's his other mucker that was easy. His other mucker was easy, mate. Easy.
Oh, good.
Easy.
Sorry.
Side of best spent youth, mate,
Well, that's sort of the entertainment was in those days. I was no bad at old snooker myself.
But Linda, have you had your thoughts before we know who's fit, etc.? Have you had your thoughts who you'd like to turn out for us on Saturday at 3:00?
Do you want me to give you my team?
I'm sure you've thought about it.
Oh, goodness. Right. Well, if we're assuming that Ridvan is going to be injured, I think that obviously Butland starts in goal, Super Jack. Tav goals and Suter, I think it will be Barisic. It would be a miracle, and let's hope there is a miracle there that if Ridvan makes it. I would just probably go with Diamondi, Lundstram, Silva, Lawrence, And on the right-hand side, I'm hoping that maybe McCausland will be okay to start Ox. And then I think it'll be probably Dessers up front.
I can't see it. I don't think McCausland.
No.
Personally, I just think that he's had one that's going to need a bit of rest.
Right. Well, I would maybe switch Matondo in maybe then, because the other option is Scott Wright, because he started against Benfica, didn't he?
Aye. Okay. All right. What are you thinking, GB?
I think, if we've got the magic wand route, then it's definitely got to be like, say, Butland, Tav, Golson, Suter, Ridvan in an ideal world. And then it's got to be, I would hope it will be Lawrence, Lundstram, Cantwell. And then we'll have Silva, Sterling, and Dessers up front.
Where are you playing Sterling?
On the right.
On the right.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got.
And that's only because
I've
got Ridvan back. I've got Ridvan back, but I just don't think McCausland will make it. I think his is a wee bit more serious than what Ridvan's is. But I can't put Scott Wright on that right hand side. I just don't. I think Sterling's even better than him, and that's saying something.
I thought he'd done all right for the first hour against Benfica. If I'm honest, Scott Wright, it wasn't his worst performance. That's not a great compliment, right enough. That's not a great compliment. But what would you do if Ridvan's no fit? GB.
It's got to be Borner in there. I think Ox. Right. It's got to. I think you touched on it last night. I think the big man is, if he is leaving, then he'll be wanting to go with a couple of medals in his back pocket, and I think he'll give. I would hope he's got to come in and give his all, and then show that quality that we've seen in the past. Hopefully, know the stuff that we've been seeing in recent games, like the Kamal and stuff like that. Want to see him go out with a bang, Ox, and hopefully, if he comes in, he gets some of the whipping crosses into the box that gives the 3 points.
Mm-hmm. Aye. What are you thinking, David? You had thought about it, mate?
Aye, well, the choices is we've got a good choices now. That's the main ingredients now. We've got a bigger squad and they're all more or less up for the game. Barisic, no, not for me. He's not been like that. I've not had any toffee as far as I'm concerned. But where else? Who else is going to play there unless he plays one of the boys? But I just think he's a weak link at the back four.
Okay. What about the point we debated last night? What about the point that we debated last night that you would play Sterling at left back if he's fit? Any thoughts on that, Bridgman?
Well, I would hate, if he's fit, I would hate to think we're not going to employ him somewhere in the midfield. The way he's passed for a couple of games where he's been absolutely outstanding in the midfield. And he truly is a ball winner and as strong as an ox if he's going up front. If they even fling him up in the right wing, he seems to do something. So I would hate to think we're going to put him in a left back. But, the manager is a manager and he'll do what he needs to do, he thinks. I know that a lot of folk have got a downer on Borna at the moment. I'll have to say I trust the guy. I think I'll trust him to get us through here if Ridvan is unfit. I think we can put him on and he'll come good for us. I'm sure of it. But my fear is, of course, on the black side, is that he's not going to do it. He's just going to be a bit lazy the way he's been and things like that. Because when he's like that, he's just a nightmare. You're better off without him on the pitch, to be honest. However, I really do think I would trust him to get us through these couple of games that's coming up till Ridvan's back on top of his game again. But as Linda said earlier, we're praying for if anything, a bit of luck insofar as Ridvan is fit, 100% fit for the game. That would be great. But I despair as to what's happened with our club and the fitness of the players and the attitude of some of them. It's a bit poor from a Rangers perspective, a bit poor. But we've got ourselves into this situation where we're stuck with a left back that possibly doesn't necessarily want to play for us now, against a player that's desperate to play, and he's a wee bit unfit, maybe a lot unfit, I don't know. But let's hope he's back tomorrow. Saturday.
What do you mean about the attitude of the players, Rich?
Some players, when they're coming to the end of their contract, their attitude changes.
All right, okay, they're down tools.
Well, that's what I'd hate to say that about players, but we just know it's true, don't we? Our opinion is...
And I think it happens at every club, modern football, British guys are moving on, and they've signed a contract to go somewhere else, their mind wanders.
Yeah,
it's a gamble you take in modern football. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the left-back position. It'll also be interesting to see who intimates maybe sort of surprises on the bench. And it'll also be interesting to see if Cantwell starts. It's 3 weeks since the Benfica game, Linda.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, I'm hopefully he's well on the road to recovery from the actual injury. But match fitness, well, they've all had a lot of them have had a couple of weeks off, so he might throw Cantwell in. And I don't know if you were maybe giving Diamandi a bit of a rest, Ox, if he's come off the back of playing a couple of games for the Ivory Coast. Is there a possibility? I know you maybe don't think Lawrence is preferred back there, but would you play Lawrence with Lundstram and then just put Cantwell in the number 10 role? Because surely against Hibs, we'll be wanting as many sort of attacking options on the park as possible, albeit I do understand that we've got to make sure we cover ourselves defensively as well. So that might be a bit of an option for him.
Aye, I think it'll be interesting to see what he does. He seems to like the sort of two setters. Obviously, he's used Lawrence in there when Jack and Sterling were then available. But if you look back, he initially went with GB, he went with Lundstram and Jack, and then when Jack got injured, that's when we stumbled across the John Sterling thing, and then obviously, as he said, these suspensions, etc., he's used Lawrence in there a couple of times. I don't think it's Lawrence's prepared position, in my opinion, GB.
No, it's no. Ox, it's definitely no. I think that the manager has stated that he's asked Lawrence to do a job in there, and Lawrence says that he's had to try and learn that kind of position. But he's willing to do it because he just wants to play football. He's mentioned on it. So I think it's just the quality. I think that's why we want him in the team. But I think running up to that international break, Ox, I think Lawrence was picking up wee niggles as well, wasn't he? So you might find that the setup might be that he puts Sterling back in there, and then you have the likes of Cantwell starting with Lawrence, like I said, swap him out later in the game. Because that's again, he'll be
that's if Sterling's fit, mate.
Aye, I think it will be, because Sterling even said before the game against Dundee, he says back soon. So, I mean, like you says, that's 3 weeks now, isn't it? So you would hopefully think that he's fully fit. But saying that, it was ice on the hammy, wasn't it? So you don't know. Well, we're desperate for the Mora to come in.
Till we get a clue, Davy.
We'll see. I just hope we don't start the game the way we started against Motherwell. That's one of my concerns. And I don't think that hopefully we've learnt the lesson to that escapade.
Aye. You want us to start the game like we started against Hearts, mate?
Yeah.
Aye, it's important. It's Bridgeman. It's all about winning the game, innit?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I think everybody now are at the stage of a season where, we've got aspirations, the hopes and dreams. We have real hopes and dreams because we're in a great position. Now all we need to do is go and do it. And it's as simple as that. Just go and do it. And biggest sort of, shall we say, object in our way is Hibs on Saturday. We've got to go out and do it. We're at home. We've got to do it. And that, to me, following for a long time, and it's not always happened for us. We don't win every game at Ibrox, but we win a sheer number, a big number. But I know that some of the fans are a bit wary of teams like Hibs are coming in, and we allow them to take big chunks of the game. These kind of things we need to manager will get to as he builds up for the next season. But seriously, we've got to win. Saturday is 100% must, in my opinion. 100% must.
I think the way Hibs play at the moment, Davey, and then they'll take us to London as well. If you press them at the back rapidly, there'll be errors and you'll have opportunities.
Yeah, you're spot on. That's that's what we done the day against Motherwell. We just came out and just started with passing across the back and forward. No, I don't see that happening. I think we've learned our lesson for that. I think he's got to play. That was a good shout about the big guy playing him at home. I would put him in there all day long because Barisic, Hibs have got a couple of wee fast guys up front, and Barisic at this moment in time he can't handle that. So I mean, if you're talking about pace, the big man's got the pace and the ball to handle it in there, I think. So as you say, if they start off right at them right away, keeping them where they should be, I don't think Hibs have got. I'm not sort of saying that they're mediocre, but they're not a fantastic team. I think we've got enough in our locker there to take them at Ibrox.
Should have, Davey, but football doesn't work like that. Wonder if we close them down, there'll be errors at the back and you'll get chances.
Yeah, definitely, Ox, just right on the front foot. As you say, that press and with energy and just go out, you've got to, show the attitude that, we've got a league to win. And just get absolutely stuck in right from the first minute, make them make mistakes and get a couple of goals. And, I don't think they'll be able to live with us. But we still need to make sure we keep it tight at the back, Ox, because we had a few, displays where the two centre backs particularly could have done a bit better, I think, recently. But hopefully, they'll have. I know John Suter didn't he got on in the first game for Scotland, but I was quite happy. Didn't he go on the other night? Hopefully, Big John's rearing to go as well, and Golson gets back to being a bit more steady. But if we just do the business up the top end of the park, Ox, we'll surely be okay.
Aye. GP.
Ox, it's just a question for yourselves. Do you think the manager's learned from his mistakes with Benfica, with leaving ourselves so open at the back when we're up for corners and stuff like that? That's my concern.
I think that was a tactic against Benfica, mate. I thought it was crazy then, and I thought it was crazy now. I thought he got it wrong. Especially with the you could have just left Ridvan back there, It was an error, a tactical error. I couldn't understand it in the first half, and we continued in the second half, and we paid a heavy price for it. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. We've paid the price against Aberdeen and Celtic to a certain extent with their kind of tactics as well, haven't we? And that's where I want the manager to be switched on, because Hibs is a team that I noticed against when we were playing the Scottish Cup.
We never lost the type of goals against the teams at Ibrox, mate. That was a unique goal. It was crazy. It was a crazy setup. He tried something and it never worked, mate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it was crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Aye, no, I agree, mate.
He's never done that in any other game.
I just thought it was strange because I didn't know why we were chasing the game. We didn't really need to. I don't know if that makes sense, Ox. It was just a bit strange to overcommit. I could understand if we had...
You were 2-0 down.
Yeah, absolutely. But you also, in that particular... It was a bit of poor control by our player as well in the box when we should have laid the ball back for the shot and we didn't. And I'm not having a pop at Dessers here, it's just what happened. And then obviously we just lost possession and there you go. But I do agree with you. I didn't understand why we were doing it at that point in the game.
No, because the momentum was with us, and they weren't particularly troubling us. I'm not with no decent players anyway. We digress.
Yes.
David, are you looking forward to this running before we move on tonight?
Oh, definitely. I just hope my old ticker can survive it.
Don't worry, only the good die young.
Well, I'm piling them on now. Me and Bridge are heading for the big 80.
Did you get Linda that hotel chocolate?
Oh. Oh, I'm not getting involved in that.
Told you. Tight, mate. Tight as 2 coats of paint. Yeah, all right. Davey, always great to hear from you. Last word, mate, before I get on the rest of the boys and girls.
Yeah. It's a pleasure. It's great to hear you all again. And through time, I'll get to meet more of you. And always, as I say, God bless the Rangers, guys. And you all stay safe and take care. And good luck on Saturday, guys. Good night. Thanks for taking my call. Thank you.
Yes, you've sent me some stuff for the last few weeks you have.
Well, good ones, weren't they?
I think I've sent you a few good ones back.
My Oliver brilliant. Oh, fantastic. It's great stuff. Great. Keep it coming. Good night, guys.
Cheers, David boy. Last word for your good self, GB.
Hi, Ox. Thanks for having us on tonight. It's been good to get back, and Matt says eager to see Rangers back playing Hibs on Saturday, and big thanks to the Linda and Bridge tonight as well for joining me.
Aye, good to have you, mate. Good to have you. Good laugh, mate. Always, eh?
Definitely. Homework one is noted for next time, mate.
Just remember all things bright and beautiful, yeah?
I know. That's what maybe distracted me today.
Talking about all things bright and beautiful. Linda?
Oh, cheers, Ox. That was a nice lead in there for a change.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, it was
I was going to go to Bridge, but I couldn't.
I know. No, it was great being back on talking about Rangers. It was quite a long international break there, wasn't it? Good being on with yourself and GB and Bridge. Just want a victory on Saturday, but I think 3-0 Rangers, and I'm going for a Tav penalty, and I'm going for Silva to hit a double, carry on his good form from the Portugal under-23s. So, good night.
Cheers, Linda. Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say? What a night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great discussions. And thank you to yourself, Foxchair, and of course, your techie team in the background. And of course, JB and then Linda for carrying me through. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, Saturday, biggest game of the season by a mile. By a mile. Everybody knows we're all going to be there. Whenever we can, we're going to be there cheering them on. Please, just keep it going for the Rangers, because this is when we need it. Battle fever. Everybody battle fever, because we really need it. Keep it going.
Yep. Thanks to old David for joining us. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Linda, GB and Bridge for doing the show. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night. Yes, Good Friday. We're putting a show on for you people between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.